Welcome to Talk Theory. It's your host, Kiara Barnes, where I talk all things life, what makes us human, and what makes us superhuman. Sit back, relax, and join me for a chat. Hello, welcome to another episode of Talk Theory. How's everyone doing? Y'all getting through this wild heat wave? I know it's been crazy in LA. It just happened. There was no lead up. It was just immediately, 1,000 degrees. Anyhow, we are getting through it. I am just happy because I moved successfully last week. I think I talked about it on the last episode, so I'm really happy about that. And, moving is always a task, and it's always such a reward when you're done. Okay, look, folks, I want to talk about keeping your vision, your faith, whatever you want to call it. I've been thinking about this because I personally am in just this time right now position, and it can be really easy for me to fall into fear. If you guys don't know, I talked about it a little bit, but there's a current strike going on, and it's a really, really big deal. So no actors are allowed to work right now. If you end up getting a job or something, you have to get all these approvals, and it's a whole process. So, it's super easy with the strike happening to not really know what's happening next, and just to feel a little uneasy. And I've definitely, been guilty multiple times already. There's just so much noise around, there's articles after articles, and any conversation revolved around what's going on at this time is very intense, which makes sense. It's all valid, but it's also a very particular energy, and it can definitely make you feel doomsday-y. So, I just want to kind of talk my way through it, and I'm sure that other people, it's not just me and my point of business and what I do in entertainment that's being affected. There's a whole, spectrum of things that are going on right now for everyone. And so I just want to talk about how we can, get through a time of worry when there's just a lot of worrying around us. How does someone conduct themselves? What do you do to stay on course? There's a lot of different ways one could go about this, but me personally, I have to tap into what's best for me. I know I need to focus on what my truth is and what next steps look like, which is, I have to keep a place of center within. I have to have a place of refuge. There's so much going on around us and outside of us that is just completely out of our control. But the only thing that stays consistent in the sense that what we can truly control is how we feel, what we believe and what we think. And these things, will be the guiding forces for how our days go and how they pan out. Excuse me, y'all. So what I've been doing along with my meditation and journaling, is being super present with myself and asking how I feel, what I want to do even for the day. Basically relying on my first instincts to guide me through my thoughts and feelings. And, look, I have plenty of stories of times I've been, in situations that are stressful and worrisome, not knowing what to do, but deep down, kind of really knowing, but still asking for advice, and the advice not really sitting right with me. And some of you have already heard this story if you've been listening, but it's a great example of doing what feels right to you and what feels in alignment to you. So this was a while back when I was modeling and had just gotten to California. I also at the time had like a huge student loan debt, and everyone knows the stress. I mean, I don't know about everyone, but a majority of people know the stress of student loan debt. And, it's a thing and it takes up a lot of space in your brain. And, ugh. So, anyway, I ended up booking this modeling job and got a check to pay off the exact amount. But the tough thing was I was very much in need of rent, okay? And like I did not know when I would see this amount of money again. So I called my parents, and started asking them what to do. And they were both telling me, keep it as rent money. That way I'm good to go for sure these next few months. And I was telling them, I just feel like I should pay it off. This, student loan debt, it's stressing me out. And they were very much against it. And it makes sense. Like, they have a kid that they want to make sure is provided for and safe and, isn't living uncomfortably. Yes. And so I understand where it was coming from, but I ended up just feeling more stressed and decided to just meditate, to really get to a place of knowing. And I asked to feel calm when choosing the correct decision. I just was like, I just want to feel peace about it. So, long story short, I decided to pay off the student loan debt, and I felt so much peace with that decision, knowing that, that stress of that would just be gone. Having no idea when or where my next paycheck would be coming from, I just stayed open to opportunities and just trusted the instinct. Not knowing that like less than 3 weeks, I would be getting my first job on TV, which paid my rent for the next 3 years and then led me into Fantasy Island on Fox. And I love this story, and I'm so grateful to have had this experience because even recalling it helps me regain my faith in myself. And that's just what I want to touch on. You have to have a louder inner voice than the outside voices, voices of friends, family, media, work, whatever it is. You have to have a strong foundation so that you won't wobble as much. And if you do, you'll just have a faster bounce back rate. So, what are some ways that we can remind ourselves of this? For me, I love a good list. I feel like writing down moments when you didn't think things were going to work out and they did, and or even better than you expected is great. When you have like proof of all these things that have gone right displayed in front of you, it's easier for the brain to logically digest that it can happen again. And in fact, it's natural that things work out great for you. It's basically like reprogramming your brain and body to trust itself and trust you. And another thing I think is fun is trying that, like testing it out, right? Test out your instincts. You have to try it out and listen to them in order to really strengthen that ability. So start with something super basic, like, okay, what do you want for dinner? and just pay attention to what your first thought is, like whatever pops in your head, and then just go with that, and you can wake up and you have a feeling, I don't know, I want to go on a walk outside. Okay, go do it. Like test it out and have no expectations, but just notice how you feel maybe during or like afterwards. And the more that you implement doing this in your life in the small ways, the better and the more confident you'll feel making decisions in the big ways, which won't really end up feeling all that big to you in the end because you'll have practiced this a ton, And okay, the next bit is how to maintain a healthy mindset if people around you aren't really on the same page or feeling just different. Because here's the thing, folks. Everyone's going through something and everyone is figuring it out themselves. So even what I'm like sharing with you guys right now, I'm aware that these are things that are helpful for me. And not all of these things may be necessarily as helpful for you, but just listen to your intuition. Like what resonates with you will resonate for a reason. With that said, when folks are around and just aren't on your same wavelength, I've learned just let people be where they are. They will eventually move through that energy because energy is an ebb and flow kind of thing. So you trying to convince someone to not feel what they're feeling because you're feeling differently isn't going to change how they feel all that much. Unless they're ready to feel differently in that moment. And also, it's just going to make you feel worse because now you had to change your energy to get into like this convincing mode, which only breeds more anxiety and worry on your end that maybe you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what you're talking about. But the truth is you do, you know what's best for you. Always, we have this compass that is always active and guiding us. So allowing others to be and just feel how they feel without needing to change their thought so it agrees with yours, it's going to help you because being so confident in yourself that you don't need a cosign on your thoughts and feelings is just a game changer, really. Lastly, giving it all time to pan out, how it's meant to pan out. Releasing this timeline of needing things to look a certain way at a particular time. I feel like and I'm part of this, always rushing to get to that next step. And like once you complete that goal, then, okay, I need another goal. And that's great. It's great to have goals, but it's also great to just like relax, take a breath. You are exactly where you are meant to be. Breathe. Take it easy. You don't have to get everything perfect or right. Just listen to that inner voice and you'll be just fine. Folks, that's it for today. These are quick episodes as of late, just because it's summer and schedule is wild and crazy. But, sometimes you just need a quick little check-in, a quick little boost for your week. All right, let's get into the theory of the week. Let's see. This week, the theory is this. Your internal GPS is more reliable than the thoughts and opinions of others. Mic drop. Okay, folks. Thanks for, listening to another episode of Talk Theory and hearing me out. It's interesting times, and just know that we're going to get through it. and don't worry, and try and give yourself some breathing room and allow yourself to feel. We're all humans. It's okay if you have a few bad days. It's okay. If you need to cry or scream or whatever, like allow yourself to feel and trust those feelings and trust yourself. Okie dokie, folks. I shall see you next week. Okay, love you. Bye.